I like my truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you.
Very quick to go ahead and lay a motherfucker out. So the shit made sense. But then as the days went on, and then you see Mike Tyson respond, and he threw the hashtag and little things, and we had the conversation that we had, and it was like, damn, they got us. They got us. And people in the comment section, shout out to them, where a lot of people were saying this is a publicity stunt. And
Right.
I think on the video where I put out Tyson responded, I said that people were saying it's a publicity stunt, and I still didn't believe it. So I'll take that. A little naive, but it was like, man, once you kind of line up all the pieces, it makes sense. And then it don't make sense because you Mike Tyson, bruh.
Right.
And I got nothing but respect for Mike Tyson. Dare I never disrespect Mike Tyson, but I got to give some criticism because I didn't know you needed to do PR stunts like that to gain attention. I thought the shit was winning.
And this is what guys like, J. Cole and his raps and stuff, he talks about, some particular line where he kind of talks about people having to do little stunts and fake beefs and, PR stunts in order to get attention to them. It's fake. It's corny. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? At all. I just think that, like you said, that's Mike Tyson.
Come on, man.
You're one of the biggest boxers ever in the history, like one of the greatest heavyweight champions that ever walked the earth. Why do you have to do silly shit like this, just to get a little bit of attention for a few days? Because it's always going to last a few days. You get more fans and subscribers. I'm sure they grew, by a lot, but, that is what it is. Some people rather work, hard to get what they get. Not to say that they're not. But PR stunts, I don't like the taste of that, man.
This is what I was saying, man. And we talked about it during a couple of the other shows when we see a lot of attention put on certain things and then social media being spun on it and the blog and things like that. I was saying that this kind of reminded me of WWE. And we got that confirmation this weekend, talking in the conversation we had on just kind of how they're kind of portraying it. And this is a very serious topic because Tupac was his man. That being Tyson's dude, and he died very tragically, and you would think that he held some kind of very seriousness to that. Not that he doesn't, but you wouldn't think that line would be able to be crossed and thrown out as a publicity stunt or in a WWE style so that we can sit back and commentate the shit that we see in the ring. It was
Are
like,
the people
man,
wrong for commentating though? What do you feel about that? Because somebody had a nerve to actually say, y'all are so quick to press play for these ignorant types of headlines, but won't promote the right things. What do you think about that statement?
They're so quick to click it.
Yeah.
They're so quick to click it. And let me be very clear. We are the Uncensored True Podcast, LLC, which means for the people who don't know, this is a business. We prided ourselves in making this a media business, a very powerful media platform. We're going to work from the ground up to do so. And certain topics of conversation we're going to have to do because we've made it an obligation for it to be our job. We're going to fucking do it. And we're going to make it the best we do. We know Tyson. We grew up watching Mike Tyson. We've seen this whole history. It's something that we could talk on. We know Wack 100's fucking history.
Right.
It makes sense for us to do this. And y'all watched. Right. Thank you. We appreciate it.
And yeah,
go ahead.
Now, the crazy part about it and talking about the history and talking about Wack 100, it's disappointing for him. Let's just talk about him for a minute because you look at a guy, who outside of just the music arena has a bit trucking business. If you sit down and talk to him, you can see that he's a real, intelligent guy. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's successful in his own right, but it does kind of surprise me to see him involved in something like this. It does, and it gives more credence to when I talk about the game and him coming at Meek Mill for years back. It was all fake at that. Like it was all fake, and like there's no limit to what these guys will do just to get attention on them.
Does it really surprise you though, bro? Does it really surprise you? Because we were the day and age that we live in now. I got fooled. I'm not gonna lie, I got fooled. But when I thought about it and I sat back and I looked at it, it really did not surprise me. I don't think that anybody in this day and age really cares as long as it gets attention. They want the content, baby. They know that it'll be 60 seconds here or gone. We talk about it now in a month. We're not going to fucking even remember it. Yeah. Mike Tyson will move on. Wack will move on. It'll be, it is what it is. And they made their moment. We're not going to take away how smart these two gentlemen are. Wack 100, if for anything, has been proven to be a great marketer. He knows how to create brands. He knows how to create personalities, and he knows how to push them. He's very good at it. So he in this element makes sense. Mike Tyson, a great actor, a boxer. He fits the fucking profile to a T. So it doesn't surprise me in this day and age where attention just runs rampant, them to create a moment in order for them to gain some revenue. It surprises me that they would have to go to that level. Woo! But it doesn't. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, nah, and that's real. I mean, you would think that that just, you know, them alone having that conversation, especially with the Tupac element, and there will be enough. Maybe
heat
even
behind
bigger.
it, like some real shit.
Right. Let's say it would have been bigger if they said an argument. They had an argument, you know what I mean, about, you know what I'm saying, the Tupac with the theory or whatever, because Wack 100 was on record disrespecting the hell out of Tupac all the time. So that'd have been even bigger, I think, than them talking about some fake ass fight that never happened and the footage being released. Because think about it, when this kind of hit me, I'm like, it wouldn't be beneficial for them to show it if it happened, because that's lawsuits, especially if Tyson, you know, hauled off and smacked him and hit him, and now he's showing, you know, this bottle of painkillers, which was like, how do you get that shit now if the fight wasn't real? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, it's a crazy situation, man.
It's whack.
It's whack.
It's whack. It's whack. And you wouldn't expect it from two people like that. And I mean, you would expect it from two people like that. You wouldn't think that it would garner that attention. I hope it got them the attention that it needed.
Well, we probably one of the main components. We posted the story.
Yeah, and it did well. So,
but it is what it is, man. You know, yeah. It's just, you know.
You asked me, my fault. You asked me, were the bloggers or the commentators at fault? And no, we're not at fault, because you also, in the same breath, you watch the negative. If we ever put up positive, oh God, are you watching it? So the blame has to also be on the consumer as well, because if you're consuming it and the algorithm is pushing it, it all works hand in hand in hand. Now, if you don't want to watch a particular topic because you look at the title, because you clearly see it before you go in and before you comment, before you listen as you comment, because a lot of you motherfuckers write a lot of shit. So you've been sitting there listening for a while. Why you even go through all that?
A dialogue piece, Wack 100 and Mike Tyson having a dialogue, maybe let's say 10 or 15 minutes going back and forth about Tupac and arguing about that, will be bigger than any little fake fight.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my fault.
No, I'm good.
Let me ask you this. Did that surprise you that they would? Did that surprise you that that Wack 100 and Tupac? I forgot the fuck question I was going to ask you. That's fucking crazy.
No, it's cool.
What were you talking about?
I was talking about, you know, the fact that, not to say that they didn't, you know, they're not going to release a conversation with them two talking about, you know, Tupac, but an epic conversation about Mike Tyson saying, look, man, I seen what you've been saying about Pac. You're lying, you're wrong. But him defending his stance and them going back and forth and just ironing it out as, man, we don't have to see the fight. I'm thinking, you know, that would have been a bigger, you know, one of those pieces that you see on YouTube or an archive that over time might garner 10, 15, 20 million views over time. Somebody who's so close to Pac, Mike Tyson, defending him in the flesh against one of his arch nemesis. I think it would have been dope. It
would have been real dope. And that's what I wanted to ask you. I'm glad I let you finish, because what does this say about Mike Tyson to you, or even Wack 100, as far as how serious either one of them are genuine about Mike or Tupac, even in general? Because
it brings up a credibility issue.
Like, okay, so what conversation was had exactly? Did it really bother Mike Tyson, any of the things that he said? Was anything real that Wack was saying? Did he all do it for attention?
If you had a friend that was dead, a great friend of yours, and somebody was disrespecting him on Instagram, and you had a chance to bring this guy in your show, you're going to address him about that.
And let's take it a step further. Probably known as being one of the last people. He was just at my fight in Vegas. The only reason he was out there is because of me. This is personal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I would hit him.
Right,
I'm not saying that I'm not going there, because we're older now at this point. Mike Tyson's in his 50s, for crying out loud. So I'm not saying that he had to go in there and hit a man. No. In fact, that he was probably wrong for doing that. Now that we know it didn't happen, but allegedly when it happened, he was wrong for that. You don't put hands on people like that. But a real man conversation could have been had. It should have been had if you took that shit personal. Unless you knew it wasn't real, unless you know Wack, unless you knew it was off of publicity, or unless you genuinely didn't care.
Right.
Which one do you think it was?
You know, I don't know. I can't.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one, man. To really, you know, to say. I won't want to think it's the one that I'm thinking of, but
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, it's Tyson though. I mean, it's Wack 100. So what can you say about it?
It is what it is, I guess.
Yes, sir. But now we know what we're dealing with in this hip hop industry now. Some of these podcasts out there, you got people who are willing to do, you know, whatever, whether it be fake get beat up, somebody fake come in with a gun, lie about a fight. People are going to do whatever it takes, you know, to get the click, to get the view, to get the attention, you know, for that so-called, you know, time and period. So, you know, it is what it is. Nobody's hating on it. We just giving our commentary on it, man.
And I'm proud of myself in saying, and I'm going to say that right now, right here, then ain't never gonna be us. You ain't gonna see us sitting there jumping out for a moment on IG or anything like that. I mean, we had a situation, had a run in maybe a little over a month ago now with an individual, and deaded that right then and there. It wasn't a moment created. It could have did damn sure great numbers if we went in and jumped and hooped and hollered and went crazy over it and all that shit. Nah, deaded it right there, kept it moving, because that's not what we're about.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just a certain.
Plus, it would have been different if people was face to face and all that.
Way different.
A lot of things. So when you're talking over the phone and whatnot, and you know, it's a certain level of respect when you're hosting a platform. You can't go off the cuff and start cussing people out and saying "f you" this and that, and you can't. You gotta keep a certain decorum about it. You don't see the greats doing that. You want to see, you know, when.
My truth uncensored, my whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth uncensored, my whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. You're now tuned into the greatest. Motherfucker, you ain't never lie. If them people watching us like YouTube, then tell them motherfuckers like and subscribe. If the blunt stale, I still click a bell.